The Sketchup plugin you need is on the Onuma Studios page under Plugins, Sketchup plugin. Download and install that. Launch Sketchup, and you will see a new interface right here. You could also bring it up in the tool palettes under Onuma Bim. We're going to start by just creating a new building. We'll actually find a site by going into the Sketchup mapping function and look for an address in Chicago. There's a site here. I'm going to assume this whole site right here, we're going to put a new project on here. So let's just choose this area here. Select region. This is completely in SketchUp. Grab. Put SketchUp on the map here. And we're going to assume to put a tower right here. I'll extrude it. This is completely within the SketchUp tools. You can do a lot in SketchUp, obviously. I'm just going to grab this rotation and just give it a little twist here. The important thing in SketchUp is to make sure that the outer skin, this is the outer skin of a new building, to make sure that it's continuous and there aren't any holes. If there are holes, like if you can imagine this being a cup that you're filling it with water from the bottom, you can't have any leaks basically. So if you're cutting holes and things, you have to be careful of that. The next thing you do is you select this object and you grab the Onuma tool. There's a lot of settings here, that floor-to-floor settings and everything, but if I just click the floor tool here, it actually creates a set of floors. You can actually see it if you drag this off to the side. You can see that there are slabs for each floor of the building. Next thing is basically to export Bim XML from SketchUp. So I push this button on the right here, this red button, and it tells me it has created a 32-story building in Bim XML. And I'm just going to save this to my downloads folder. Call it tower. Doesn't matter where it goes, just as long as you can find it later. Now we'll go into the Onuma system. We're going to use the sandbox. I have a project here called Chicago Tower. If you say add scheme, there's multiple ways of getting SketchUp in, but I'm going to use the add scheme from SketchUp. Choose the XML file. There it is right there. Select if you want core spaces. Core spaces are elevators and restrooms. And then I'm going to just leave these other values as default. Hit proceed. It's now grabbing the XML file. There goes. It's that quick. 32 stories, 31 stories with a roof, and that's why it's saying 32 stories. You hit proceed. There's our new building. So now you can notice it's in the right location because we brought it in from SketchUp. Open the building up. Let's just go to the 18th floor. You see the core spaces, elevators and restrooms and stairs. These are all vertically connected. In other words, if I move them, all the floors change at the same time. So even if I rotate this, put it right here, and then decide to move the stairs on the outer edges here, this actually gets us throughout all the floors in the building. You'll notice the shape of the slab is based on the twist that we did earlier. You can start adding spaces here directly in Onuma, or you can also export this as Excel space attributes, export. These are all the spaces in the building. You can add more spaces directly in this Excel file. So if you want to add office spaces, or let's go to just the bottom of this list here. It doesn't matter where you put it actually, but let's put it here at the bottom and say on the 31st floor there's a lounge and it's 3,000 square feet. And on the first floor there's a lobby and it's 5,000 square feet. So you can continue to add as much information as you'd like here. You save that Excel file, go back to Onuma, and now instead of export, we're going to import. Import update space attributes. If you hit the description button, it gives you a description of each import option. So I'm going to import update space attributes from Excel. Choose the Excel file right there. Leave everything at default. Import. This recognizes that there are new spaces and existing spaces. The existing spaces were not edited, so they're left alone, but way at the bottom here, you'll see that we added a lobby on the first floor. We hit proceed. Updating is complete. If you go to the first floor, you'll see a lobby. Toggling the name, you can see the name of the lobby. See the square footage, and we can even edit it still. It's not locked into the size that came from Excel unless you want to lock it. But you can still move it around and also unlock and say we want to edit the shape. You can actually grab the shape and say we want a lobby that looks like this on the first floor. Maybe we even move the stair over here and say the lobby is going to be out here. Now if we export it back out to Sketchup, color code by department, and we will import, file import from Sketchup, the Bim Xml file, choose format Bim Xml, import. There's a full building. You can even see our lobby down on the first floor here. And these elements in SketchUp actually have data associated with them. So if we start to select individual elements and bring up the info button, attributes, show, you'll notice that it actually has Bim attributes as well. The name of the space is lobby, space type, etc. So this has actually created a Bim in SketchUp from the Onuma system. The same model exported out from the Onuma system in Revit would have created will create all of the spaces and equipment inside it, all the floors. So within a few minutes you have a SketchUp model, Revit model, and a Google Earth model. Spaces can be moved. New spaces can be added. By clicking Add Object, we'll add one new space here. Stretched. You can also copy and paste. So if we select a space, this one for example, the keyboard shortcuts are down here. Press C, this is copied, and press V, adds a duplicate of that space, which can then be edited as well. Now let's look at this in 3D. Click 3D button. Launches and flies to the location. You see the building. Default view is space, actually building volume, but we have space volumes on here, and you can actually turn on departments, and there's many different options for viewing the building and spaces in the building. You can actually see the slabs that were twisted. If we turn off the floor slabs, you can actually see the spaces. Here's the stair core and the lobby on the first floor. You can actually point to specific spaces and it shows the name of it. If we had the floor slabs on, it'll actually name the floors as you point to them and the square footage of each floor. Notice that each one kind of varies a little bit because it's twisted around. So all of this data also shows up in reports. You can actually do a quick cost estimate, building cost estimate. These are the default values. You can adjust them, but this is giving me a cost for the building. A lot of other reports there as well. With this, you can also export to other BIM applications like Revit. If you hit export, just like we exported to SketchUp, there are options for exporting to Revit, different versions of Revit. So within a few minutes, we've actually created a pretty large building with a lot of data in it. There's actually furniture and equipment in all of these spaces, and a floor slab, and then new spaces that we added. And you can continue on with this with more detail.